We are starting, not starting, but we are continuing our evening program, and there will be performances and divided in 3 different chapters, and you are all invited to join us and stay tuned. We will have a special guest from Chickson Street, Alex Leslie that will perform with us. So just come and this is gonna be a nice closing of this conference, and it will be also fun. So thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You wanna try?
You can.
Okay.
You can Oculus One also connects.
I stopped the stream.
Yes. Actually, later around 8:30. We will do this
Now it's
virtual performance, but it will be much more easier with program. Okay?
Okay, it's much cheaper. And then you need to have you need to run off.
No, you don't need to go.
Waiting for you. You waiting for people in Krakow.
nothing more. There is nothing more permanent than interim. Feral, doubtful law has become the norm. Has become the norm. Has become your law, your constant norm. Only curse is your prayer. Only curse is your prayer. The fallen overseas of space are going to sedate you. Going to sedate you with a heavy weight. Crumbled, crushed. Concrete, crumbled and crushed like bodies, like all the bodies. Would you like to try on someone else's bodies? Would you like to try on someone else's skin? Or is it rigs? Or is it rigs? With your violence? With your violence and your sadism? Repulsive? Isn't it? Isn't it? To rip and squeeze. To rip the body and squeeze. Would you like to try on? That is not new for you. You've always been like that. You've always been like that. Unbeaten, cruel, and pathetic. You are pathetic. We don't need your body. And we don't need your soul. We don't want to sleep on your fucking bones. But you've always been like that. You've always been like that. We don't need you. Get out! Get out!
Hello, everyone! Вітаємо вас, шановні друзі. Зараз ви побачили відривок нашого останнього стріму, який був поєднанням платформ, просторів і часу між Краковом, між нашою студією тут і Строїнгом. А в Троїнгам ще додатково було 2 місця, з яких ми стягували сигнали. Це була одна кімната, типу як сцена, де, власне, відбувався в якомусь сенсі цей перформанс, який ви бачили, перформанс авторства Соні Супрун. Можна сказати, що це її дебют, і я думаю, що це була дуже цікава можливість і приємний, не завжди приємний, але не тому, що було неприємно співпрацювати, а тому, що тематика доволі таки непроста. Дуже вдячні їй за старання і вдячний кожному, хто приклав свою руку, око, ногу, все, що можливе для зреалізування цієї ідеї і продемонстрування її на увесь світ. So, everyone, how are you, girls, boys, and other creatures?
Really good. Thank you for asking. And yeah, I lost the first part. You know, still my Polish is not so good.
Yeah, it was Ukrainian.
Yeah, you see, I can't even recognize. Like, I should exercise. Yeah, and yeah, we are back from Trondheim, and it was really a great experience. We want to thank Florian Schneider and all the people that collaborated and made this conference possible. It was a great moment to network, great moment to experiment with new things, and some of it you already saw, as Gleb said. I answered just a little bit, maybe, and you will see even like after, because we will try to do an experiment with virtual reality. And actually, we are really excited because it's something new. We are discussing a lot, and yeah, you will see what it's coming. But I wanted also to thank you that you from here made it possible to have like this bridge between Norway and Krakow. And I was personally really amazed when I saw the output, because in the working process I didn't really. And then when we saw like with Ksenia that she was also there with me and Gleb, we were wow. And Rom, sorry. You are always with us.
Maybe
you forgot.
Yeah.
In a way, you were there, so.
Yeah, in different ways.
Yeah, true. Yeah. So about this, I don't know. I'm curious because I wasn't here physically. So how was for you that you experienced this from Krakow, from the studio? I don't know. I'm actually curious to know about this.
So we already have Ukrainian, English, so should I start in Polish? Dobra, to widziałam to wszystko tak trochę z dala, powiedzmy. I dla mnie to było tak magnetyzujące i hipnotyzujące, jak sobie zobaczyłam potem streama tego, że w trakcie samego robienia i powstania tego streamu wydawało się tak skomplikowane, tak dużo rzeczy musimy połączyć, tak dużo rzeczy musi współgrać, a jak zobaczyłam obraz taki już na tym zapisanym streamie, to wiedziałam, że okej, czasami to się wydaje tak proste innym widzom, że to jest tak super i to się tak robi, ale to była mega skomplikowana rzecz i naprawdę też trzeba wszystkim podziękować za to, że to powstało. Bardzo fajna atmosfera, dużo rzeczy i fajne, miłe wspomnienia i mi się wydaje, że takie streamy są potrzebne i takie projekty też są potrzebne, bo dają też dużo doświadczenia.
Yeah, I can agree with you. I think like things which we were attaching and connecting to each other, making it as a straight and unreal signals. Yeah, it was actually our main thing to do. So we had to synchronize in time and space. So different places, different timelines, some strange but sometimes really funny delays in picture and in sound. Really interesting experience, and yeah, you will never get such adrenaline push up like we, and seeing Rome running in a circle over there when something doesn't work properly. But finally, everything was great. It's difficult to say like, okay, we did what we wanted to exactly, because actually, you know, it's every time is something new, and a lot of unexpected things can appear. So thank you, everyone. Yeah, and as well, really like multi-platformal experiences we had, because I don't know, it's kind of difficult to explain. It's like kind of game, I would say, or kind of dream even, when you know, when something looks familiar to you, suddenly everyone is singing, dancing, then someone is speaking, you know. In a way, not so straight line of scenario, and I think this is the main goal. And of course, like wide spectrum of, in a way, cheap technologies, but connecting them, they becoming really advanced tools to create and recreate. And now, for a word, Rom is welcome.
No, I really wanted to be with us, with you guys here, but I need to be also, because there is the next chapter, and I didn't ask you to introduce this, and this is a surprise for the program. And there is also important to say thank you to Alex Murray-Reshley, the Chicks on Speed leader or member, and for the collaboration that we start there, and for some inspiration, and also for footage we got for this affair, for tonight. Hello from Krakow, and now about half an hour together with Chicks on Speed, together with the project More Meet less meat. And yeah. And thank you one more time for this beautiful present. There are also sausages as a planet. How's to this kind of sausage in Italian?
Salame, salsiccia, salame.
Or, this on air, something. No, I forgot.
Sure?
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm asking because this is also introduction for next year. I hope, which will be Italian one. Yeah. So yeah, I'm going back to switch to next chapter. I'm leaving you here with these beautiful things.
Yeah, but next Italian affair, I hope we will not have meat in it, just tiramisu. I will teach you how to cook it. Yeah. Have you ever?
Yes, I tried once, but it was like from a supermarket, so I'm really curious to...
You tried, but you tried to cook it or to eat it?
No, I just tried it like eating, you know.
No, okay.
I just like watched the video how to cook it, but for me it's like, oh, maybe later, so I'm really curious.
But are you vegan maybe or not? Okay, nice, because there are eggs in it, so, and cheese, but it's really great. Yeah, I'm really excited. We actually can like cook a lot of them because we are a lot of people, and tiramisu is nothing special to cook. It's like really easy, and then you have to leave it in the fridge for like 1 hour or something like this. So it's more about the waiting than the cooking itself. And
it's with coffee or alcohol?
With coffee. Alcohol, I think there is a way to cook it with alcohol, but it's not necessary actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, here in Poland, I noticed like a lot of people love like Italian cuisine. Like it's really, really popular. I think because it's tasty. So, and also tiramisu, you can see it like in every supermarket. So, but I think it's not as good as like really Italian one, for sure.
Yeah, but it's about the process. Like ingredients are really simple. So.
Okay.
Yeah, we will do it.
There are different ways on how genes are transmitted among organisms. The generic term for those subtypes is horizontal gene transfer. Gene transfer in general can be vertical or horizontal. We speak about vertical gene transfer when the genetic material is transmitted from parent to offspring, either by sexual or asexual reproduction. Horizontal gene transfer is gene transfer between two already existing organisms. The donor transfers genetic material to a recipient organism that is not the donor's offspring. We mainly distinguish between those different subtypes of the horizontal gene transfer. There is transduction, conjugation, and transformation. Starting with transformation, one has to mention that this term is used for bacterial cells, but also plants and other non-animal eukaryotic cells, such as fungi. However, all examples in this video will include bacteria. Transformation is the uptake of free genetic material from the environment by a bacterium.
What is the human body to you? In your work, you use your own body and also make interventions, such as in your Picasso exhibit, using and transfiguring these images with other body parts. So how do you think of the human body, and how transposable are bodies to you, and also how transposable are we people, even artists, to you?
Alors, je voudrais dire que je suis un corps, rien qu'un corps, tout entière un corps, et que c'est mon corps qui pense. Et le corps est politique, le privé est politique, et tout ce qu'on fait, tout ce qu'on dit est politique. J'utilise le corps, alors qu'avant j'ai utilisé la peinture, la sculpture et bien d'autres choses, parce qu'effectivement tout le monde a un corps, et tout le monde se demande le devenir de ce corps, et aussi tout le monde sait qu'il va mourir. Donc j'ai fait des pétitions contre la mort, par exemple. Dans les questions que vous avez posées, en fait, je ne travaille pas avec d'autres personnes. Je travaille absolument sur mon corps parce que je ne veux instrumentaliser personne. Chacun est libre de faire ce qu'il veut avec son corps. Et moi, je n'ai absolument pas d'ordre à donner de ce côté-là. En ce qui concerne mon exposition au musée Picasso, c'était avant toute chose pour dire aux femmes de l'ombre, les femmes qui ont été des muses et qui le sont encore, ou des inspiratrices, ou des modèles, réveillez-vous, émancipez-vous, arrêtez d'être un objet, devenez un sujet, et ne pleurez plus. Les larmes sont vraiment inutiles, mais au contraire, gueulez, prenez le pouvoir, parlez haut et fort, soyez vraiment l'égal de tous les êtres humains.
Are you ready for the revolution? Introducing Synthesteak. 3D printed steaks and snacks. All the good taste without any of the bad feelings. Go to synthesteak.com and sign up now for DNA and RNA code subscriptions. Choose from a variety of templates or simply design your own code strings so that you can grow your favorites from the animal kingdom. So get creative and just go wild. Animal. Synthesteak. Because flesh is fun.
Orlan, the last time I was here you told me about that you were going to invite friends over and they were going to eat Orlan burgers. They were going to eat Orlan. Could you tell me a little bit about these?
Alors, j'ai rencontré des gens extraordinaires, le groupe Symbiotica, avec lequel j'ai beaucoup travaillé avec les biotechnologies, et avec lequel j'ai extirpé mes propres cellules et je les ai cultivées, et j'ai fait ça dans leur laboratoire à Perth, et j'ai assisté à un repas qu'ils ont fait avec du steak de grenouille.
Okay.
D'où cette idée. Je me suis dit, il faut absolument savoir si j'ai bon goût ou mauvais goût. Je veux absolument savoir mon goût. Et donc, je leur ai demandé de me cultiver un steak d'Orlan. Et bien sûr, il faut ensuite faire un grand dîner et trouver un bon cuisinier qui fasse la bonne sauce, qui marche avec. Et pour convier les gens à me goûter, à me tester, à savoir réellement quel goût j'ai. C'est très important d'avoir bon goût ou mauvais goût.
Okay, but wouldn't you call this a modern form of cannibalism?
Yes, but je suis sûr que vous, parfois, enlevez la peau de vos ongles, c'est du cannibalisme déjà.
Okay.
Ou enlever une petite peau de vos lèvres et le manger.
You are a bioartist as well.
Sometimes.
Okay, because so you worked in Perth with Oren Katz and Ion Arthur.
Yes.
A very important place, no?
Yes,
Symbolica.
absolument.
And with Stellark.
Ils sont extraordinaires, oui.
Yeah.
Non mais là c'était avec le laboratoire. J'ai travaillé avec Stellark il y a très longtemps. On est souvent dans les mêmes expositions. On nous a même appelé le couple de la cyberculture. Mais là c'était uniquement avec eux que j'ai fait toutes ces œuvres, et aussi avec Jens Sauser, qui est le grand théoricien des biotechnologies.
I am chewy, tasty, but seedy too. Gino. Take away your pork chop, chicken thighs, and rump roast.
It's a drag.
So smooth.
It's me and drag. It's a drag, it's me and drag. Delicious in the sense, delicious in the flesh. Your sinews are exposed, your curvy things are made. Delicious in the sense, delicious in the flesh. Your sinews are exposed, your curvy things are made. Blue on a look, tear off a piece.
All flesh, hardcore.
Look, tear off a piece.
All flesh, hardcore.
Look, tear off a piece.
All flesh, hardcore.
Tear off a piece.
All flesh, hardcore.
Of
the feathered serpent, glistening pyramids of the sun and the moon. The sun and the moon. Temple of the feathered serpent, glistening pyramids of the sun and the moon. The sun and the moon. The sun and the moon. The sun and the moon.
Oh yeah!
Vegan sexuality.
Végétarienne, love, soft love, sensuality. And you will teach me all you want, all you want.
Starting out as this kind of organic matter that's not any kind of shape, and then slowly just like, how do we fix it, basically? And then you just changes, so it becomes what we have here, and this.
And how is that associated to meat and drag?
So the meat and drag, I just kind of thought about how you're taking non-meat product and just kind of shaping it to look like meat, this thing that people want to eat instead of the non-meat. So like, think of this as, you know, something maybe people don't want and making it into something people do want.
So like the packaging?
Yes. Like how do you, like, if this is you, how do you package yourself?
How do you imagine the ideal or good relationship to one's own body and to other people's bodies? And what do you think about issues like consent or respecting others' bodily integrity?
Pour moi, il n'y a pas de relation idéale, parce que le corps change tout le temps. Dans la vie, on n'a pas qu'un corps, on a des corps. Et donc, les choses sont très très fluctuantes. Et je suis aussi pour les identités nomades, mutantes, mouvantes. Donc effectivement, il y a du changement tout le temps. Et c'est absolument nécessaire de s'émanciper de soi-même tout le temps. Et penser, c'est penser contre soi. Et par rapport au corps, on est toujours en difficulté avec son corps. Il nous met en difficulté tout le temps. Et souvent, il fait le contraire de ce que l'on a envie de faire. Par exemple, si on n'a pas envie d'avoir d'enfants et que on tombe enceinte, eh bien, la machine se met en route, même si vous ne le voulez pas. Elle continue à faire quelque chose contre vous-même. Donc c'est pour ça que je suis bien sûr tout à fait pour l'avortement et que je suis horrifié de ce qui se passe actuellement dans le monde et particulièrement aux États-Unis, mais pas que aux États-Unis, en Europe, en Pologne, de partout. Et je voudrais dire que pour moi, ce qui serait radical, mais absolument nécessaire, c'est d'éradiquer toutes les religions. Parce que les religions sont fabriquées par les hommes, pour les hommes, et pour maintenir leur patriarcat et la misogynie. Donc, voilà ce que j'ai à répondre. Est-ce que ça vous suffit?
Halko, to jest takie małe interruption w tym pokazie wspaniałego materiału, po to, żeby pokazać credits, po to, żeby... Nie dotykajcie, please, nie róbcie chcecie tutaj w ogóle interwencji dodatkowych, bo to już jest wystarczająca interwencja. Ja znikam teraz, po to, żebyście sobie przeczytali, jak dużo osób pracowało przy tym materiale i za chwilę wracamy do tego materiału, ale po pokazie tego materiału idziemy głębiej w wirtual. Julia and Konrad will jump into few virtuals and we will mix something
How you relate
what
to
we
other animals,
really don't know
non-humans,
what's happened.
and what you think about vegetarianism. Not eating other animals.
Alors bien sûr, je suis extrêmement touché par la souffrance animale et toutes les fois où je peux effectivement signer des pétitions, dire des choses haut et fort par rapport à cette souffrance qui est absolument énorme, mais pas uniquement pour les animaux qui vont être en batterie et qui vont vivre dans des conditions effrayantes et qui vont être tués d'une manière abominable. Par exemple, il devrait absolument être interdit que les animaux soient tués sans être avant étourdis, pour qu'ils ne sentent pas la douleur. Donc, c'est vraiment... Mais alors, le pire pour moi, c'est la corrida. La corrida, quand vous pensez qu'il y a des gens, des quantités de personnes, une foule en délire, qui vient s'amuser, rire de la torture d'un taureau, qui est une torture jusqu'à la mort. Pour moi, c'est absolument aberrant, barbare, c'est une chose qui ne devrait absolument pas exister, qui devrait être interdite totalement. Parce qu'on nous dit toujours « Ah, mais c'est la tradition ». Mais la tradition a fait beaucoup de conneries. Il faut arrêter avec la tradition. L'excision, c'est la tradition. Et beaucoup d'autres choses sont la tradition qui sont abominables. Donc, la souffrance animale, il ne faut pas la prendre uniquement par le fait que l'on mange de la viande. Il y a beaucoup d'autres endroits où l'animal souffre et complètement inutilement. Donc, effectivement, je ne suis pas complètement végétarienne, mais j'ai réduit beaucoup la viande que je mange. J'en mange souvent chez les amis qui font un plat avec de la viande et si on ne peut pas le refuser, on ne le refuse pas. Mais le moins possible, c'est sûr.
Slash, 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 draw, 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 slash, 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 draw, 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 fake it, 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 good, fake it, fake it, fake it, fake it, like you should.
am a vegetable.
Plant.
I am chewy, tasty, but seedy too.
Gino.
Take away your pork chop, chicken thighs, and rump roast.
Oh, it's a drag.
So smooth.
I am a flesh, not meat.
It's a drag, it's me and drag. It's a drag, it's me and drag. Delicious in the sense, delicious in the flesh. Your sinews are exposed, your curvy things are made. Delicious in the sense, delicious in the flesh. It's a drag, your sinews are exposed, your curvy things are made. Blue on a look, tear off a piece.
All flesh, hardcore.
Look, tear off a piece.
All flesh, hardcore.
Look, tear off a piece.
All flesh, hardcore.
Tear off a piece.
All flesh, hardcore.
Of the feathered serpent, glistening pyramids of the sun and the moon, the sun and the moon. Temple of the feathered serpent, glistening pyramids of the sun and the moon, the sun and the moon. The sun and the moon, the sun and the moon.
Vegan sexuality.
Végétarienne, love, soft love, sensuality. And you will teach me all you want, all you want.
Some theorists, like Carol Adams, have made an analogy between animals and women in our patriarchal society, and saying that both animals and women can get erased as subjects and become objects in order to be consumed, whether as meat or whether as sexual objects or other modes of objectification. So I'm wondering what your thoughts are on this process and how you think of meat and femininity and animals and females. Is there a kind of analogy or a parallel for you in that and in the oppression that animals and women suffer in patriarchal society?
La féminité est quelque chose qui n'existe pas, qui est complètement fabriqué par la société. Et je voudrais dire qu'être une femme, c'est une calamité, tant sociétale que biologique, tant biologique que sociétale. C'est hallucinant ce que la nature nous impose, et qui est absolument abominable, avec lequel je suis absolument en désaccord, et ce que la société nous surimpose par rapport justement à cette logique. J'ai fait par exemple une performance avec une vidéo enregistrée qui s'appelle « Nos bébinos ». Où sont les écolos? Parce qu'effectivement, on ne parle jamais, ou très peu, de la démographie, qui est le seul problème. Nous allons être 10 milliards très bientôt. La Terre est surpeuplée, la Terre est surpolluée. Il faut arrêter avec les enfants. Et effectivement, la société oblige les femmes à être mères. Si elles ne sont pas mères, elles ne sont rien. Mais dès qu'elles sont mères, c'est très bien, ça régule tout. Et l'homme est content. La femme va au foyer, faire la nourriture, faire les bons petits gâteaux, s'occuper de l'enfant, s'occuper des couches. Les mentalités n'ont pas encore beaucoup changé. Il y a très peu d'hommes qui font le même travail que les femmes. Et effectivement, que ce soit la religion, la société, tout le monde est là pour que les femmes soient complètement soumises, soient complètement, subissent totalement, comme les animaux, effectivement.
I witnessed a lot of harassment towards the microbes in the facility. Lots of verbal abuse and even physical. Sometimes bacteria would be thrown down the drain if they were not considered useful. I do believe that many staff members discard them as inferior beings and do not have a lot of respect for this form of life.
Je me présente. Je suis Orlan. Mais elle n'est pas sur moi. Elle est pour...
I'm in Bulgaria, yeah. And we met just the other night.
Yes, of course. On veut avoir la chance que il y ait quelque chose moi qui peux faire.
Je vais demander. I'm gonna ask.
Oui, il faut qu'on fasse ça. Yes.
And maybe one background. Maybe.
Yeah, we've just laboured to set up.
Yeah,
We're here. Oh, but this is great, yeah.
Also great.
D'accord, on va pas là.
But it's okay to show the tips.
Do you have an extra one? Okay, to show where?
Est-ce que ça va pour le plan? Of the chanson.
En fait, de cette équipe. Et puis,
comment elle fait la création de cette équipe?
What creation is that exactly?
Daniel Wismore.
I really like this frame.
C'est Lily. Ça c'est Lily.
Where could you Tell me when to start.
This is Abby. Oh, nice look.
Okay. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to conversation with Julia and me about this very strange situation in which we find ourselves now. This is actually an idea, an artistic research idea developed for the Trondheim performance. After which we got into a lot of talks because we found it extremely a potent idea, an interesting medium to explore, and we will be doing exactly this tonight, trying to make sense of this weird situation we are currently in. And maybe I will first give the floor, so to say, like there's no floor here. I see no floor, absolutely. We are floating in space. I will give floor to Julia, and she will tell us maybe how she came up with the idea and something more about what is it we are actually doing right now, because it's not self-explanatory. Yeah, Julia.
Okay. Hi everyone. Do you always sound? Yeah. Okay. Can I talk? Okay,
Yes.
because we have some delay. And yeah, like this is a good question. Actually, I think I came up with this idea because we did came up with an idea like this, and also because I was speaking to Ron, and we were speaking of personal. And like, why not have a green screen also in VR? Like, we have this amazing possibility, so let's do it. And this is what we did. And then we tried to think out it. Like, okay, we have a green, and actually, virtual board and this possibility. So we were okay. We are just playing. It's kind of boring, but we can do something with it. It can be really useful. And this is what we try to do in Trondheim. And like the conversation you mentioned before, what was about this kind of bridges and layering we in the end like constructed, and this was really unexpected. And this I think is the good part, because VR is nothing new. It's technology that has almost 15-20 years now, and it's not really progressing in kind of the most important features, just resolution and wireless, not wireless. It's kind of upgrade of the device itself, but not this infrastructure or something. And I think what we experienced in Trondheim was a new type of usage of this. Because we can talk more about this, we can have like an exchange, because it's hard to explain it, as we were saying, like you know it, or you know it, or you don't know it, or something like this. I don't remember the exact words.
It's a vibe thing.
Yeah, vibe and a vibe also.
Yeah, but it's good to shed some light on what is actually happening now here. So maybe I will, make an attempt. We are actually now together with Julia inside the VR, and inside the VR we are within a virtual green green room, onto which is projected the image from a camera from the green box in Krakow, where I'm now sitting. And as you see the situation between us, we actually cannot see it this way, because I see Julia from the first person perspective, and when I will just take my headset for a second, I can actually see myself in the TV and see myself speaking. Like, this is a situation of total spectacle in which I see myself interacting, but on a different level, in a different space than Julia is now, because Julia absolutely cannot see me in the physical space. She's in a different room. So there is this kind of by design miscommunicated, that we are like missing ourselves at the moment. Like from my perspective, this is very interesting, because when I take off the headset and look at the screen which shows the image that is streamed, I see Julia as a very small avatar on the pillow now, and when I take on the headset, she is this gigantic mushroom in front of my face. Hi, Julia. Yeah, maybe you want to say something to that?
I don't know, it was really like concise and synthetic and really good explanation. Maybe we can try to recreate visually or in concept what happened like actually like on the 21st. That was, we were in, like I and Ksenia and Rom were in Chodny, and decided to coordinate this kind of multi-layering. So we were green also there, because our love green stays here, but we had to manage. And we tried to organize this kind of workshop, but people like from the audience could interact. So imagine like actual people on the green wearing the VR headset, and then they are also in the virtual green. Okay, so this is easy. And then the same is happening here in Krakow. So we have like 2 double levels, and then every person, an avatar that represents this person, is taken from the green. So the person wearing that is taken from the green, and the avatar in the green is taken from the green, and they are all put together in another new layer. And this is happening in Krakow and in Chodny. You're laughing. And put them together again in one big mashup. So this is what happened like more or less.
Well, no, I think that is absolutely crucial, and I think this is what's like caught our attention. Actually, the trouble with explaining this situation, like what are we doing, where are we meeting, where actually the communication takes place. It's a very, very confusing situation, and like when I was asked to explain what we are actually doing here, I tried a few times, but then I was said like, no, I'm absolutely incapable. And only after the event took place, I was like, I found some words, some idea to talk about it, and I think like the best way to understand what we are doing now and where are we finding ourselves now is to think about the image you see that is streamed now as some sort of space where we meet, but we also don't meet. It's a place. It's some sort of a liminal place that exists only on the two-dimensional screen. We don't share it, so it's kind of a very weird, janky product, so to say. It's a communications arrangement that allows us to discuss now, but we are actually missing each other all the time in a certain way, especially when I will take off my headset. So, but this is the interesting thing, that this is a kind of a situation that is extremely puzzling. That it's a situation that is for us hard to explain, and because of that, we were drawn to it, because it also has this kind of a very weird quantum logic that we are finding ourselves in a place that at the same time exists and doesn't exist, or we we meet as, you know, completely two different beings, and the space is some sort of doubled. So it's very, very confusing. It's very, very funny, and I think it also has some critical potential to explore, because it like allows us to show, to point out how janky are the metaverse virtual VR technologies at the moment. I refer now here to the movie that was, you know, recently screened by this collective. It's called Metaverse in the Age of Janky Capitalism, I think, or Metaverse in Janky Capitalism. And it like explains how desynchronized are the real lives and our virtual lives, and we are constantly, you know, shifting between one and the other, not being really aware of this fact that we are constantly in this state of shifting, of switching, etc. And this situation we are having now is actually making it extremely apparent. Julia, you maybe would like to say something, comment on it?
Yeah, I'm absorbing what you're saying, actually, because I think we talked about this, but it's never too much. And I think doing it in this environment, if we can call it like this, it's even better. Oh, wow, the mirror, I think, and yeah, like you were talking about liminal space, and I think that what I want to add also in relation to this video that we were yesterday talking about, it's you know, there are portrayed all these people wearing outfits and just, you know, falling on the TV, or like just falling on the ground because they don't see what's around. So and there is a point where this AI generated Julia Fox speaks about the fact that Meta is like treating our bodies in a really, really unpleasant, uncomfortable, and not way. Like I'm wearing the ad now in 5 minutes, something, and it's already like really heavy, painful, and it's not something that. Why should we subscribe or Meta buy out? Invest real money to, you know, be kind of, I don't know, being attached to this machine that's and not designed to be worn for a long time, or because some people get sick with it. So what is the purpose? Like, why did they imagine just this new reality that actually it's just a better or not even better version of the actual reality? And I think what the way we use the God name, like personally, I found it, you know, it was kind of necessity, because that made us, you know, make possible the physical interaction between, in this case, Ksenia and Sofia in this performance, you know, and wearing that set, the actual like movement where it because this is what it does, and this tracking was, you know, making possible for the other person to have kind of more immersive experience than just seeing it on the screen, because you see yourself in this 3D. Also, it was a dialogue between the virtual avatar that was interacting with Sofia. She was wearing this costume. So it was kind of one part, the physical and the virtual, was just giving more strength to the other. It was not tripling the other, and it was not a shadow of the other. It were like being together. And this is, I think, what it should do.
Yeah, also the thing is that this is the point that is made in this movie, and I think it is also important for us. And I think this arrangement of realities actually, you know, shows it quite vividly. That, you know, that also like VR technologies are real technologies that are taking place in real space, and this is why this arrangement allows us to see it, you know, by superimposing the image that takes place in the so-called real green room onto the virtual green room, you kind of see that there is continuity. It becomes, more tangible, more palpable, more, easy to spot and easy to see. And it shows like that virtual technologies are always grounded in, some sort of a physical situation that is, in this case, quite uncomfortable, that it's quite, limiting in terms of movement. And, and this is basically also a very physical situation. Like we cannot escape our, physicality. And this is the promise that, metaverse makes, that, that the metaverse is a way of escaping from reality. I'm sorry, like honey, dear Zuk, yes. But it doesn't work this way. If my back aches and I have a back pain, it will still ache in the VR. So, I think we shouldn't forget it, and this kind of designing technology on this very idealistic idea that VR is not material is absolutely stupid, and I think we should be really aware of the physicality, and by being aware of the physicality of the situation, we can probably design these technologies so they, so the transitions between the real and the virtual are not that, how to say it, they are not that disturbing, so to say. Yeah.
I also think it's about technology, in my opinion, is true, and this is also connected a lot to the imagination and the science fiction that was wrote about this kind of technologies. Like I can imagine now AI and all like the complexity and contrasts that it's going through. It's technologies are still designed by people, and people is kind of biased background about this, so they will design something that in a way it's kind of a prophecy that it's becoming true because we are making it true. Like people expect that AI or like technology will take over, and this kind of Terminator mode will just chaos because they will become more intelligent. But we are just making them become what we are afraid them to become. So
yeah. Yeah. It's always
in the real world.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think like I think we are onto something here, and we will investigate it further. I think there is also a lot of potential for more, I would say, aesthetic effects also in this concept, and I think we will be exploring it in the future by maybe experimenting with the virtual space a bit, by changing the architecture here. And maybe introducing some sort of a more choreographed relation between the avatar, but maybe like that will be it for today. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Should introduce the next party. It's your job.
Okay. So thank you, and I will introduce the next performance in VR.
Let's go to the
by Taya Kabayeva. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Julia.
robi się tłusto.
Staya Kabaeva and her performance in VR. Actually, these were footages from real field from Ukraine, made during last year, and the rest I think you have seen. Like this really atmospheric music was also made by one person from Kiev. I remember hearing him for first time a few years ago. Yeah, his nickname is Mutafori Lili. So, also, once more, I want to thank to everyone who was involved in our past event in Trondheim, and specifically also to people who made costumes for us. I guess, yeah, somewhere, yeah. A little bit difficult to find. Anyway, we will mention once more everyone. Universe bless everyone who helping us to move forward and explore this world, reality and virtuality together. And now you will have to listen a talk about artificial vision, the technology which even like half of a year ago would sound really strange or something like connected with eyes, but actually this technology have any connection to eyes or to eye nerve, so it's completely independent system which is only simulating like vision of human, but step by step we're going forward, and you will see small part from previous talk to understand from what it started, and then like actual things, new stuff to be heard. Let's go.
Hello everyone. Today we will discuss artificial vision. What is artificial vision and why we're talking about this? In our planet, 37 million people who cannot see at all, and nothing can help them, only this new technology of artificial vision. If you will collect all these people together, it will look like big European country with 37 blind people. How they're living in our regular life. Most of us just ignoring them. We're not see them at all. Sometimes we're meeting them outside with a white can crossing the street. Sometimes we're helping them, sometimes we're just ignoring them, and we're not thinking about them at all. In Ukraine, during the war, during the bombing, many people lost vision. Most of them soldiers, but there are civilians too. And I start to search this. And I find out that few countries working on this project. It is Spain, America, Australia, I think China also, but they're very close and they're not sharing this information. Japan, and now they have new program. We're working together, Germany, Canada, and other countries. Many people still don't believe in this because they not see these people, they don't know what they feel and how they live in our modern life. But Vlad said, and another soldier said, if in our world we have phones, internet, artificial intelligence, why we don't have artificial vision? Since that, I started working on that project. And who knows, maybe artificial vision people will use in different fields too, not only for vision, because robots need vision too, and maybe new technology will need some vision also. And the goal to explain to everyone that it is possible in modern world. We can do it, but we can do it only together. All together, we need to collect our most smartest scientist who's working in engineering, biology, electronics, in medicine, in IT. Also, for all this big project, we need some foundation. And if governments start participating in this program, it will be great because they have a lot of money. And with this short message, I want to also introduce you to a friend. She's from Kyiv, ophthalmologist. Her name is Natalia Volinets. She went with me in Spain to learn more about this technology. Very appreciated her support. Also, I believe that we will do it, and it will be very soon. I hope this year. Thank you. Bye.
Всім привіт! Мене звати Наталія Волинець, я лікар-офтальмолог. Сьогодні я розкажу вам про проект цифрового зору, який стартував в Іспанії на університетській кафедрі. Цей університет біля міста Елче знаходиться. І там працює ціла команда розробників, які вже мають тимчасовий датчик для сліпих, який дозволяє отримувати частковий зір людям, які повністю втратили зір, або навіть людям без органу очного яблука як такого. Ця команда вона працює ще над проєктом штучної сітківки, ортопедичними засобами для зору. Також вони отримали можливість імплантувати цей тимчасовий датчик зору для пацієнтів на півроку, і в подальшому він буде вдосконалений і дозволений для імплантації на постійній основі. Імплантуючи цей датчик, якість картинки вона в пікселях вимірюється і дає можливість пацієнту бачити обриси предметів. Ми сподіваємося, що цей проєкт набере розголошення, що знайдуться інвестори, які або іспанську кафедру профінансують, або якщо цей аналогічний проєкт буде запущений в Україні чи в інших країнах світу, що знайдеться підтримка для продовження цього експериментального винаходу, і найближчі роки сліпі люди і військові наші в тому числі і по всьому світу отримують можливість хоча б частково відновити зір. До нових зустрічей!
Buongiorno, vorrei parlare oggi di artificial vision, visione artificiale. La scienza medica è sempre alla ricerca di nuovi limiti da superare e la cecità è uno di questi. Sembra impossibile, ma forse non lo è. Esistono nel mondo qualche centri specifici dove fanno ricerca su questo campo, per esempio in Spagna, America, negli Stati Uniti, come ho detto, nel Germania, dove ultimamente è partito un nuovo livello di ricerca in Università di Bremen, insieme con scientifici canadesi, americani, europei, e sinora erano stati realizzati unicamente dei tentativi di creare e quindi di impiantare un impianto per recuperare la vista. E anche esistono primi tentativi di una chirurgia innovativa che prende il recupero parziale della vista nei pazienti ciechi. Nella maggior parte dei pazienti con cecità acquisita, la corteccia visiva non è danneggiata, ma inutilizzata perché non riceve alcuna informazione dagli occhi. La vista parziale può essere ripristinata attraverso una protesi corticale visiva impiantata chirurgicamente nel cervello che trasmette immagini video. Per questo dispositivo protesico corticale visivo è attualmente progettato per uso solo in una categoria di pazienti, a quale non esiste più l'organo visivo, cioè non esistono più occhi. Idea è che si stimolano intelligentemente i singoli punti nel cervello con elettrodi, possono effettualmente riprodurre la forma visiva come i pixel su uno schermo di LCD, e questi pixel, possiamo dire, ci sono 100 punti, si formulano un oggetto visivo nella proiezione di questa immagine nel nostro mente. Sì? Immagine acquisita alla videocamera viene convertita dal processore in una serie di segnali elettrici che distinguono all'array di elettrodi. Elettrodi array posizionano a contatto con la superficie della corteccia occipitale attraverso l'impianto transcranico che stimola la regione corticale producendo uno specifico pattern di punti luminosi, come dicevo io prima, che formano un'immagine. E adesso sono necessari solidi studi per valutare i benefici e andare avanti per rendere questi dispositivi, cioè protesi corticali visivi, per persone cieche.
Yeah, it was a very nice picture.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
So today we have a talk with Tatiana Dovzhuk, which makes real huge steps now in direction of artificial vision. We had some materials prepared and showed on 24 hour on 24 February event. So we've got some progress now, and yeah. So first question for you, Tanya. Could you please describe shortly, like from the first day when came the idea about this kind of work, and exploring, and how it continued, how it was developing until this last your visit to the place.
Okay. First time I heard about the problem that many soldiers lost vision after explosion during the war in 2022, and I start my own research to find how we can help them. And initially I found Dr. Norman, who was the pioneer of this project in USA. I sent him email and he replied to me that he's not doing this project, but in Spain, in Elche, Eduardo Fernandez continue this project. And last time I was there in autumn 2022, and we saw the chip, we saw the patient who had this chip, and that time Eduardo said that he needs to improve this chip, he needs to make more electrodes on the chip, and he needs to develop a better program of artificial intelligence for artificial vision. And this time I was surprised, because actually for this half of year he made a new model of artificial vision chip. It was much smaller and still contains 100 electrons. Next step will be to increase to 1000 electrodes, and to improve the program of artificial intelligence for artificial vision. Also, this time I met the main European neuroscientist who is from Holland, and he has a lab where they making a program of artificial intelligence for artificial vision. Yeah, Eduardo was happy to see us, and we examined one soldier who lost vision during the war. We did many psychological tests, IQ tests, we did electroencephalography of his brain, we did CT, make sure that everything is normal. And
if I can ask, could you describe a little bit more this psychological effect tests which they had?
Yeah, it was a funny test. It was about to find out, do they have depression or not? Do they have suicidal thoughts? Do they have okay orientation? They made a labyrinth test with touching with fingers labyrinth, and after that draw this labyrinth, and orientation where is right, left, up, down, and test for IQ, it's like count down, different numbers with the different steps, and many questions about how he's doing in new regular life.
And what was the feelings of this soldier, like about this possibility and about the idea?
Yeah, for him it's a big hope, because now he can see only black, and on the black little bit red and sometimes green spot. And for him to see even a little bit better, what is not significant for regular people, it is big improvement and big hope that his orientation will be better, and he can recognize like where is his phone, where is cup, that some human around or some car somewhere.
Okay, so he did fine. He is accepted to this project, or how next steps are look like?
They request his physiological test, like X-ray, exam of heart, blood test, and he's doing today. Tomorrow we will send. And also they will have consultation with neurosurgeons to discuss his case, because he has metal plastin in his orbital space around the eye.
Amazing and terrifying stories. So what are like next steps in this in direction to the final and mass production of such chips?
Like number one is increase amount of electrodes from 100 to 1000. Number two, improve artificial intelligence. And number three, make it wireless. And to get the license to put in the cortical zone of the brain for the long time. Looking forward to this.
So as I know, getting such approved, it takes maybe some amount of time, like to be approved to make kind of interruptions into the brain.
Yeah, but Eduard already have approved to do implantation in humans. That's why it's just a little bit adjustment. It's not hard.
Okay. And if you have something more to tell or express about this project, you are welcomed.
Yeah, my idea that after artificial intelligence went wild, I hope the artificial vision will go wide too, and all 37 million blind people can see something than just black.
Exactly, yeah. And I think knowing the statistic of technology development, I think the image will also be approved in even in short time. As I guess it's only the question of good financial background and a lot of people engaged to make it quicker.
Yeah, we need to engage a lot of people, and hey people, if you hear us, text us, call us, and let's do it together.
Okay, great. So we will add some QR codes to find you and things you're doing. So thank you for sharing your experience. Looking forward to meet you again next time, maybe in live, and to hear some new improvements and things.
Yeah, I hope in the next year, next half year will be next improvement.
Okay, great.
We're working on this.
Okay. So thank you, and I hope see you soon.
I will see you soon, definitely. Bye bye.
Bye.
Halo, halo. Tu znowu studio Ukraina TV na żywo. Dołączając się do podziękowań, które wyrażał Gleb i wyrażaliśmy sobie nawzajem do tej pory, chciałbym jeszcze wspomnieć Weronikę Emilię Baran, która zrobiła wspaniały 3D napis Slay with Ukraine. Czekamy jeszcze na wersję animowaną, gdzie soko krew będzie kapać na nas. Myślę, że przy okazji Krakersa odbędzie się premiera tej wersji napisu, a może nawet trochę wcześniej. Chciałbym też podziękować Sofii za bycie postacią między różnymi wymiarami i też w takim poruszaniu się ostatnio w ramach 50. jubileuszowego efiru Trondheim-Kraków w też takich wymiarach znoszących relacje grawitacyjne, właśnie chciałem powiedzieć. Tak, dzięki. Dzięki czat za pomoc. Czy Sofia jest tutaj gdzieś niedaleko i spadnie na przykład, albo pojawi się w kadrze, żeby pomachać tym, których z nami nie ma? To się za chwilę okaże.
Thank you for everyone. Hello everyone. Chcę podziękować całej ekipie, która tutaj jest i których tutaj nie ma. Wszystkich ludzi, których tutaj widzę dzisiaj i siebie. Także dziękuję bardzo. Będziemy jeszcze bardziej eksperymentować z rzeczywistością, z grawitacją i lewitacją możliwe.
I latencją. I atencją. Będziemy eksperymentować tak z wielopłaszczyznowością i tym takim multilayeryzmem. I w toku właśnie tego eksperymentowania wróciłem parę dni temu do materiału, który nagraliśmy wspólnie z Julią na Transmediale w Berlinie w lutym tego roku i ten materiał czekał na edycję aż do teraz i nie, tu chodź, jesteśmy jakoś tam, czekał na edycję i ta edycja się wreszcie odbyła i emisja nastąpi za chwilę. To jest materiał nagrany wspólnie z duetem Fantastic Little Splash, the Ukrainian artistic duo, które w bardzo, wydaje mi się, adekwatny do tematów dzisiejszego efiru sposób pracuje na styku antropologicznych praktyk opartych na języku i narzędziach wizualnych z jednej strony, z drugiej strony na eksplorowaniu przestrzeni 3D, narzędzi, engine'ów. Ich ostatni projekt, który właśnie na Transmediale był prezentowany, to już była taka realizacja trójwymiarowego, możliwego do eksplorowania, opartego na engine Unity archiwum. Inny projekt, o którym w tej rozmowie też sporo wspominamy, zrealizowany kilka lat temu, był bardziej taką antropologiczną podróżą po VR-czacie. I myślę, że to wszystko razem z tymi dzisiejszymi eksperymentami w oparciu o wypracowywane przez nas tutaj techniki artistic research, obecność, przekraczanie grawitacji, łączenie światów, to jest coś, co też w Trondheim kolekcjonowaliśmy albo potwierdzaliśmy dla siebie jako pewnego rodzaju bardzo potencjalną drogę rozwoju na przyszłość, nie tylko dla nas, ale dla całego świata. Wirtualność to w pewnym sensie potencjalność, prawda? Myślę, że warto o tym pamiętać, dlatego dzisiejszy efir miał też mnóstwo fuck-upów i one potencjalnie będą prowadziły nas do kolejnych eksperymentów, w ramach których będziemy znosić albo na nowo brać na warsztat te momenty, które nam nie wyszły. Fuck-upy. Tak, będziemy produkować fuck-upy, A na przykład sprzed tygodnia z tego efiru, pamiętasz jakieś fajne fakapy?
No, pamiętam sporo fakapów, ale mi się wydaje, że na fakapach się buduje nasze doświadczenie. No, z takich... No, z najlepszych fakapów, o których pamiętam, tutaj podpowiada bardzo miły człowiek o tym, jak prawie...
Czad podpowiada.
Tak, Mr. Chad podpowiada o to, że w momencie performance'a, jak byłam na pięknych linach, to prawie się straciłam tą grawitację dla siebie. No, ale się zdarza. Teraz pogłaskamy go tak. Hejka, witam. To jest
Księżyc już wschodzi, więc my powoli będziemy się żegnać. I zostawiamy z was Fantastic Little Splash, Lera Malczenko i Oleg Hans i z moim skromnym udziałem, takim trochę męczącym, bo ja próbowałem zadawać takie pytania i też jakby komentować pewną jakąś potencjalność współpracy w obszarze regionu naszego, w obszarze właśnie tych nowych sposobów wytwarzania wiedzy przy pomocy tych różnych takich technik i narzędzi związanych z artistic research albo właściwie z poruszaniem się między światami wirtualnymi, fizycznymi i tym wszystkim, czym nasze studio w gruncie rzeczy na co dzień jest. Ale oprócz tego, montując to, zauważyłem, że dzieją się też bardzo ciekawe rzeczy między dokumentacją, którą nam duet udostępnił, samą rozmową i materiałami wizualnymi, dźwiękiem, który tam jest. I sobie tak pomyślałem w pewnym momencie, że w ogóle w tym efirze, zauważcie, nie ma osobno muzyki, nie ma DJ-a, nie ma live actu, który gdzieś tam w tle między elementami tymi merytorycznymi się pojawia, elementami programu, bo chyba nie było to dzisiaj potrzebne właśnie. To wszystko jakby nawzajem się uzupełniało, dialogowało ze sobą i ta ostatnia część trwająca niemal 50 minut jest już takim zmontowanym trochę mashupem. Jest tam rozmowa, ale są też takie trochę zabawy z ujęciami, z footage'em, który zrobiliśmy na Transmediale, z dokumentacją przynajmniej 2 projektów Fantastic Little Splash, które omawiamy i które też pokazujemy w sporych fragmentach. Chyba tyle. Żegnamy się. Proszę? Zaćmienie.
If I like the VR chat, of course I like it. It's very, very funny, and I joining the VR chat because I wanted to improve my English, you know, to speak with the people, and it's funny experience for my opinion. It's cool guys and cool people. I have made a few friends. It's very good. This is something like the new, maybe the new level of the chat, because the 10 years ago or something like 20 years ago, no, maybe 20 years ago it's too far, but maybe something like 10 years ago you only chat with, you know, keyboard, and you have the chat and you are speaking with the random people. But in VR chat, you see the people. Of course, it is only the avatar, of course, but you see, you speak, you explore, and they're all around the world. So there's improve, there's next level of the chat with the people.
Yeah, and I like house.
Exactly.
So we are here in Transmediale Festival UKRAiNATV, and our guests, fantastic little splash duo from Ukraine, of course, Lera Molchenko and Alexander Hans. Welcome to our pop-up studio. Thank you for the interview. I'm really happy to be here, to have you here, and I'm very happy that you are here. You are residents of previous Transmediale Festival 2022. And tell us first about your activity here as a resident, and about this new art piece you prepare by this occasion.
Okay, thank you for inviting. We were residents of the residency of Transmediale and Pro Helvetia. It was the last year, 2022, and it had this hybrid format. Actually, it was half online and half offline in August and September. Yeah, and so about our project, its name is See Also, a set of compressed images and feelings, and this is actually a set of compressed images and feelings, or in other words, it's some kind of interactive archive of war images which we collected during this full-scale invasion, Russian invasion of Ukraine. So we are starting research these images, and the more we are going through them, the more we are focusing on some distorted images, you know, blurred, pixelated, compressed, and overexposed images. And it was quite interesting. We started thinking that because of the intensity of this war or cyber war, they finish depicting anything because of all these processes, all these distortions, and literally they are not very often they are not document or inform, but they are working and they are spreading. So we start trying to figuring out how it works, why, for what, and maybe in this process we also going through these images, we trying to figuring out with this mated emotional states which forms under the cyber war, because this is a huge part of cyber war. It is, and you know, all this concept of communicative militarism, when all these infrastructures are fusing and all subjective things instrumentalize under these processes. So we are trying to, in some way, decipher maybe these emotional states in this practice, going through these images and going through these states. Maybe technically you want to tell about.
So this project was realized, was made on game engine Unity, and we tried to took some game mechanics to to create this interactive experience, but we didn't want to create a real game, because the topic is really sensitive and we can't speak about it like in a funny way or something like this. But in the same time, we wanted to like invite to engage the people, the visitors, and the people who will watch it. We didn't want to be like really deductive to like it's often not often, but sometimes it can expressed in for example documentary movies, when you as a viewer you can't control anything, you like just listening and watching, and this why it's like really sometimes can be hard and feels as someone trying to teach you or something like this. So we decided that this interactive type of presenting can be really helpful to speak about this hard topic, and that's why we decided to use game engine, but we didn't perceive it as a game.
Yeah, this very interesting moment, and possibilities that I think we could recognize now in technology, in the intersection between technology and entertainment in one way, and also in this anthropological art strategies that I see you work with, and of course I absolutely take what you said about this entertainment, gaming, and this sensitive moment, but on the other hand I recognize that especially in this war, especially I don't know, is kind of the sense of humor people in Ukraine, and they play with humor, with this cyber war, which is also kind of a subversive play with humor, with making jokes, with pictures, with frontline situations. Sometimes I have like really, it's touching me. It's incredible, like a field of like a performative, like post-situationistic activities, as I recognize this. What do you think about this, like potentiality of also working with this in your perspective?
Yeah, that's true. I think this is maybe one of the strongest weapon of Ukrainians in this cyber war. It's memes or this entertainment formats. Yeah, it is not the part of this work for us, yeah, for sure, but I think this is a huge space for research, actually, and I even don't know how to do it during these processes, because I think there is so intensive processes, and it's interesting. I think it was wrote and said about this type of communication a lot. And you know, I think this is actually a part, some kind of Ukrainian mentality, this humor approaches. And when it traditional Ukrainian humor traditional meets these formats, online formats, it works in some incredible way, really. And yeah, I think we have to research more and more all these types of. Yeah, it's interesting. Should be.
And I think it's like really crucial part of the image of this war, because if I think about other wars that were before, was before, yeah, we didn't see as many like these funny jokes about the war, you know. I think this war is like you said, it's a lot of entertainment, really a lot, even from the video, from like this hot points, yeah, and it's like sometimes really like TV shows, and with all these like reviews for weapons or reviews for successful attacks and everything, and so I think it's what make this this is one of the like aspects that make this war kind of special, you know, because in the terms of media it's really different, I think, and it's really okay, I think,
So sorry.
And I think it's really like live war. You constantly watching it, it's constantly like ringing in your pocket through your phone, and you are like constantly in this story. You can't break out from it, because it's always like you took your phone to check something, but you see these messages that updated on your screen that it were an attack, or something like some people die in the towns that you were sometimes in the past, and I think it's like the other characteristic, special characteristic of this war.
Yeah, I just want to add that shortly about a few purposes as I think about it. Maybe just the most obvious of them, that it really helps mobilize people in Ukraine. Yes, because this is a tool for like one of those online practices for mobilizing. And the second one, I think this is really important. It was a Marshall McLuhan lecture by Svetlana Matvienko in the start of the Transmediale, and she said about that this definition of disinformation, as we named it before, in this war becomes some kind of information terror, because it's so intensive and so hard. And I think that memes here for Ukrainians, this is a tool to fight with this terror, informational terror, online terror. It's a way to make all this online space, informational space, more health for ourselves. Yeah, and also I want to add here that at the same time, for sure, as all informational practices, it has other effects, maybe very important, I think. And sometimes I heard it from our soldiers that all these memes, it's a really great way to fight, to mobilize, but sometimes it really can also form this huge gap between the reality in the war zones especially, and all these online practices. Yeah, and it doesn't mean that we shouldn't use memes, for sure, but it also this I don't know, this knowledge that we need to have, that this is memes, but at the same time there are a lot of people that really fighting and can suffering under these missile attacks and so on, so on. So they are not depicting, for for sure, but we have to.
I want to add one thing about all these memes and jokes. We spoke a lot with Lera about the Ukrainian culture is always like Ukrainian culture always had this special relationship with humor. It's like not a new thing on this war. Ukrainians always love to make jokes around even hard topics. It's like part of our culture, and you can read it in like cultural texts, and so I think it was. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
And so I think it emerged really like in natural way. It was a continuation of our culture. It's like not things like from nowhere. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like that, and I think it's also very important as a reminder for people around the world that the war is still, that it's real, that it's and also I think it's necessary to remind people, because of course you were in Poland still next to that ongoing situation, but when we look around further, there is not obvious for people around that something dramatic is still next to European Union borders and this Crystal Palace we are in now, and this. It's a very important tool, and this is also what you do. That is anthropological activity, and as we are like in between real and or let's say physical and virtual space, I would like to ask you about your project done a few years ago about virtual chat. There is also part of investigation on this kind of a relation between virtuality, people playing something, playing roles in virtual space, ambience, and in the same time going there with some tribal or identities from physical, real and political space, as I know about this intervention of Ukrainian players into Russian space that I know from another interview you done, and let us know about this roots of the project, about this project, but later maybe it's supposed to be next question about continuation of your investigation in VR chat.
Yeah, it's really interesting. It started like maybe regular artistic research of some medium like VR chat. That days we just opened it for us, and it was so I don't know, groundbreaking maybe, even if you don't have all this VR stuff, just through your desktop. Yeah, and so we just trying to film there some kind of road movie or documentary movie inside that space, and then we are trying to find some special, maybe some notes and some effects, and it was about some special feeling of this, I don't know, digital tribalization, something like that, because it was really highly how it's audialny? Audial, yeah. Highly audial, and yeah, and so and yeah, it was about all these processes, I think, and also we noted these interesting effects when people they play these scenes when they try to touch each other, like they are trying to continue these practices, you know, even if they don't, not even, they really don't feel anything, but they imitate that touches. Yeah, and it's so interesting, we're speculated with this imaginary touches, and it
imaginary touches,
yeah, and at the end of the project it was this video, like research, and we made some kind of installation where we also made some silicone, I don't know, it's a silicone, maybe implant of touches.
I see, like a representation.
Yeah, and people can just touch it. Yeah, it was about this and about these feelings and searches. Yeah, maybe.
Maybe I can start a bit about the beginning of the project. I remember that the first thing is that how we known about VRChat was this knuckle hype, and with all this discrimination and everything, it's like was a crazy thing. So it was a lot of articles in different media about it, and with screenshots. And I remember that we saw a few screenshots from VRChat where it were like where it was or it were a lot of different mixes of this visual not images, but yeah, like all this pop culture, like like it splash in like one crazy mix, and for me it looked really interesting. I don't know, it's like my children fantasy like become real when you see all these cartoonish and movies characters, they like in one space, and you can be one of them, and you can make a party with all this so we decided to like explore this, and first I remember first feeling when we didn't understand like how to behave inside, you know, because everybody make different things and like invent their own way to interact, and each time you like a newborn creature and try to like, how can I interact with you? We will speak or we will play in some game. So it was like really really interesting and changeable experience, because when you after the playing you like go to physical world, and you still thinking about these situations that were in VRChat, and you trying to understand, is it possible like in reality to interact with people in that way, how people interact in VRChat. And it's like interesting, it's like upside down, you know, sometimes. So yeah.
And just a short about the continuation, we didn't work on the continuation after that, but maybe it can be interesting really, because maybe even from this topic of cyber war and online practices, because even that time when we made that work, it was one of our note maybe about this interesting form of virtual, I don't know, even terrorism or something like that, because people, Ukrainians, tried. Okay, there is some Russian map. It's called Slavic world. Yeah, there are a lot of Russians, and very often
sounds very colonial.
Yeah, and you should saw the skins in that map, because there are milizioneri, policemen, and so on. Okay,
like bullies from bullies from the garden and this like pigeons and everything. It's like special skins for that map.
Yeah, and they actually played their roles on that map without all these policemen, about some groups, about some discriminated groups actually, and it was really strange. And some Ukrainians went to that map and they made this characters with with this a lot of particles for animation. When you start this animation, the computer of the player crashed because of how I can name it.
I think it was like something, some script for video card that overload the video card and computer freeze or something like this.
Yeah, and after that, players from all that Slavic map just throw out from that map. It was very interesting practice. Yeah, it was just one of the notices.
Yeah, but as I know, you have a studio in VRChat now, and is it like a working space? How you deal with this? No. Oh. Yeah, but we plan to do this, and absolutely we will invite you for the opening of our studio in VRChat. But okay, so maybe let's move from virtuality to your daily life in Ukraine now, and also I would like to ask you about some very serious, real context of the war and impact on your daily life and art activities. As I know, you moved to western part of Ukraine. Yeah.
Yep. Maybe you want to start?
No.
Yeah, we now we are in western part of Ukraine, and actually the half of a year, this last 6 months, we have worked on this project also, which we presented here in Transmediale, and I don't know even what to say about that, because there are a lot of experiences, and for sure a lot of our friends and almost all our relatives stayed in our hometown Dnipro, and it's about I don't know, new experiences every day when you are trying to. Okay, that city when we live, it's relatively safe. There is no missile attacks, and we almost all the time have electricity, and we were lucky find this apartment, and yeah, and I think this project we worked on all this time. It was a tool I don't know, to managing with all these circumstances, and to figuring out with all these emotions, and when you are trying not just diarying but also something like theorizing, it's really helpful, and yeah, it can be really, I think for almost every artist this is a tool.
Yeah, we have this kind of tool, and it's useful for us, and I hope also for other people who take part on our part of the audience of this. So let me a bit maybe know about also like a temporal infrastructure. How is it possible to be artist now in Ukrainian to work, and this is also part of my reflection, or like partly a question and partly a reflection about, we know the history the last few years. You are like in between this consciousness about the colonial now full-scale war, but a long time the colonial approach of Russian into not only Ukrainian but part of the world, like a classical colonial activities. In other hand, the art infrastructure, it's not a secret, it's more related to Berlin, and that's kind of capitals of contemporary art and other stuff around the contemporary culture and so on. And we are like both, you and Poland also, in this Central European countries are in between. And sometimes I have a kind of the feeling or reflection that maybe it's also the moment to integrate, to more collaborate in this regional scale, to ask also on our administration and local cities to establish more and more local collaboration in this. I think it's something what we need daily, we need particularly in this dramatic moment, but in the long term I think it's something what is a starting point for rebuild kind of the regional collaboration, regional like over border identity also. What do you think about its possibilities and about this way of thinking in this intersection of politics and art and culture? Because this politic aspect I think is very important, because it's about you, it's about Poland, it's about Belarus, it's about Baltic states maybe, and more like intermarium in a way.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of regional maybe these activities between regions in Ukraine, even just because a lot of people move from one territories to other territories, and maybe I think this is a quietly situation or time when artists are trying to figure out how to say about all these processes, and what I see, what people trying to do, for sure a lot of projects about some reactions, about some emotions. There is also very, I think, huge and strong activity, decolonial practices about all these texts and about this huge work outside of Ukraine with Europeans, for example, here in Germany. I know that a lot of artists just trying to find new languages for them and tools, because they feel that it no more work for them, and I don't know, I think maybe with the time, I hope so, that with the time all of us, we can start discussing possible really tools or something like that. But maybe for this moment, I think, as I feel it, it's too maybe it's too early to say about the movements or something like that, except some voluntary activist movements or this kind of decolonial work, or I don't know, online practices when people just trying to use their professional accounts, for example, for spreading the knowledge about what's happening in Ukraine. So everyone really, it's about this special total mobilization of Ukrainians, not just mobilization literally, but this cybernetic mobilization when people trying to work online and trying to do something and everything for help to our country and for our soldiers. Yeah, and I think we need more time, and maybe I hope that all of us will be. It's also about solidarity, you know, how we can. It's a kind of situation when we can start inside Ukraine, have this, I don't know, fights on Facebook. This is Ukrainian national entertainment, you know, fights on Facebook. Don't know what we have to say, how we can to, I don't know, manage with this or with that. And for sure, it's discussions, but sometimes there are a lot of hate. Unfortunately, just because maybe also because how it platform works too, and I hope that we can, with time, we can at least start making these discussions more health for all of us. Yeah, and I think we can start with this, and I see this how we start. This type of solidarity is also very important, I think, at this moment. Yep.
I can add maybe about the examples that I saw among my friends or people who I know. A lot of artists like were forced to move from the Ukraine, yeah, and in another country they need to like rent apartment and they need like more money than in Ukraine. So many of them were forced to go to like regular day job to work full day. As for Ukraine, I think because of this pressure from the east, yeah, Russian troops and a lot of rockets in this city on the east. Many people, including artists, they moved to western part of Ukraine, and a lot of like new residency appeared, and different interactions emerged because of it, because people like from the different parts of the country, they connected in this region, and even I was a participant of the residency, musical residency. We made DIY electronic instruments, and for me it was like really unexpected, unusual experience, because it's really new thing was for me, but it's kind of a like example. So everyone lives their places and find themselves in another circumstances and tried another things. And for sure, a lot of artists speaks like about the war, but all of them try to, yeah, like Lera said, try to find some ways how to make it properly and not harmful, but at the same time that try to make this kind of words that really can catch the attention from the people that lived in other countries. Yeah.
Thank you very much for the story, for the trip across your activities, and yeah, good luck and for future and for you and for Ukraine. And, yeah, Slava. Yeah, we're back. We're back with one question in English, but it's the question about some, or request more, I could say like that, about some pro tips, about some recommendation, about some reflection for young Ukrainian artists, for art students, for students in field of media, cultural stuff, and so on. That's searching for a future, for possibilities now. To maybe there are people like in this moment, in front of decision to move abroad, to have something like a strong decision about the future, and they are still in between, and yeah, the situation is dynamic, the contexts are particular for different people, but still I think you are much more experienced, you have more experiences, you have maybe some reflection for those people, and my big request is to have this answer in Ukrainian directly to our Ukrainian friends.
Добре. Насправді дуже важко дати відповідь на це питання, тому що це здається дуже приватним чимось, дуже приватною річчю. Я думаю, наприклад, з мого власного досвіду, тобто я перебуваю в Україні, ми з Сашою перебуваємо в Україні, наприклад, тут ми тимчасово лише на момент презентації нашої роботи. І це було якби наше рішення, і воно обумовлене тим, що, наприклад, я можу виїхати, в тому числі, наприклад, я можу виїхати, а Саша не може виїхати. І це взагалі також окрема тема щодо прав чоловіків і прав жінок, про яке сьогодні мало говориться також. Але взагалі я думаю, що це залежить не лише від цього, не лише від якихось дозволів, а взагалі від дуже багатьох чинників. І я думаю, що тут не можна навіть давати якісь поради. І навіть багато моїх друзів, хтось лишився, хтось виїхав, хтось поїхав, повернувся. І у всіх дуже різний досвід. Хтось задоволений, хтось менше задоволений, і це дуже багато різних досвідів. Я думаю, що єдина порада, яку я мала сміливість дати людям, це покладатися на свої власні, дати собі час, дати собі простір, бути собі другом і намагатися підтримати себе максимально, наскільки це можливо в цих умовах, намагатися дати собі якийсь потрібний простір і час для того, щоб зрозуміти власні справжні бажання. І тому що і це дуже важко часто відрізнити якісь страхи, страхи, які завжди є перед кожним і кожною з нас, які ведуть до якогось розвитку, і страхи тобто виправдані, особливо в цих умовах. Але я сподіваюся, і що якби це питання до себе, і думаю, що дати потрібно собі час і сили, і терпіння для того, щоб прийняти це рішення. Це єдине певне, що я можу.
Я, мабуть, просто додав би до того, що я думаю, що кожен має вирішувати самостійно це лише це справа кожного. І давати комусь поради або прислухатись до чиїхось порад в цьому випадку, мені здається, не варто, тому що це така ситуація, вона якби ніхто не знає, що в ній робити. Кожен якби експериментує і по-своєму там отримує свій досвід і має свою реакцію на цей досвід. І тому нереально сказати комусь, що так, тобі треба залишитись, або краще тобі треба поїхати в іншу країну. Мені здається, що кожна людина має зробити цей вибір самостійно. Це, мабуть, все, що я хотів додати.
Дуже дякую. Дякую вам. Thank you.
Шановні друзі, разом для тіла. Шановні друзі, сьогодні у Кракові очікується вітряна погода, можливі осадки у вигляді сльоз нашого прекрасного неба. Якщо вам сумно або холодно, притуліть до себе свою близьку особу. Це найкращий спосіб, щоб зігрітися і подарувати комусь тепло для тіла і для душі. Будьте, і ми будемо також. Разом з вами, разом з нами, усюди і завжди.
Julia, hope you hear me. This is chorizo, this is the kielbasa, this is the sausage I was trying to remind before and I couldn't. But finally, after this psychophysical experience, I did it. And we did it, and hello to everybody and see you in next week. Yeah? And cut! Mamy to! Kat to był taki zespół black metalowy polski, proto-metalowy, hard rockowo-metalowy zespół Kat. Połaskotanie? Co? Że wszyscy Słowacy to jedna rodzina. Chcesz coś jeszcze powiedzieć na dobranoc? My już kończymy, nie? Skończyliśmy, czy kończymy? Tak się psuje mikrofony. Tak się psuje mikrofony. Mikrofony, kaniony, mikrofony.